there's been a brief few weeks when Nick, you and I, we've been overlapping when we've had the same pericopes and we've taught them on the same Sundays. And it's been kind of a wonderful thing to be, texting back and forth and then even sharing drafts and then rough drafts and finished drafts of messages back and forth. Question, have you ever done that before? And then how are you enjoying that experience?
I haven't done it before, and I am enjoying it.
I've noticed I have done it before, and I'm not enjoying it with you.
No, I am enjoying it. We got a little bit. We're not in sync at the moment, but I think that you're going to catch up to me because I'm going. I think maybe a little slower than you're planning to go.
That's right. Yeah, and we paused it for a little mini series in Revelation 4 and 5 for the start of the year, and then I'll pick up back again. But I'm planning on picking up the pace later on to catch up to you.
Yeah. So some of the things I liked about it that, we were sharing quotes and things like that throughout the week. There was one particularly that I had stumbled on and sent it to you, and we both ended up using that same quote.
Yeah.
I think it was from Matthew chapter 1. That's right. It was about Jesus' genealogy.
That's right.
And
Sam Albury quote.
Yeah. There was another time where you had commented on the background of Matthew and who he was and, his skills in writing as a tax collector and how that might have affected the way that he did. He does a lot of lists and things like that.
Yes.
And I remembered that I had heard something like that or read something like that. And so I used it in my next sermon. So I'm like, oh, that was a good insight. And so it was mutually beneficial, I hope.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. And I mean, yes, I benefited from you. There was one thing where you had like a funny quip or a joke in your notes, and I thought that's a funny quip, and then I tried it, it didn't really land.
Didn't work in Ireland like it did in Colorado. Huh?
It didn't. So I guess that's an opportunity. But I even love just the sense of whether it works out to like quotes or references or links to this or that being sent back and forth. Even just kind of like the camaraderie of it, like I like you, more chances to kind of like overlap and collaborate, I think is nice. There is the way that some people prepare sermons, it's like, it's all in isolation. It can be a very solitude based thing. And it's just nice to know like, well, across the world, my friend Nick, he's working on the same passage on the same week. That's cool.
One thing I found interesting is that I know there was at least one time where we took very different tacts with talking. I think it was the wise men, perhaps.
Okay.
Very different focus, maybe even some different conclusions, like about who they were and what this means for us.
Yeah.
I found that interesting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and somehow our friendship survived.
Yeah.
Disagreeing.
And I think it's an important illustration that we as preachers, we don't all, even if we come to similar conclusions on the text, we might preach that text very differently because of our context, our personality, our audience, our aim, right? And so same text, slightly different sermon, and that's okay. And that's good. I think that's good for people to know.
Yeah. And I something kind of reflecting on this thus far, I'm actually kind of glad that I have not stolen your outlines, and then vice versa, that as I listen to your teaching and you listen to mine, they're so different, but we are starting from that same location, even looking at a few of the same different commentaries, and then taking it and then running with it.
Yeah.
So people should not get the impression that this is like a collaboration or that we're creating some project together. We're working independently, but parallel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that Christmas and Easter are great opportunities for that. And oftentimes I have kind of looped people in to be like, hey, what if we do the same things, share the same resources, encourage and pray for each other as we're doing it?
Yeah.